By reading the thumbnail, y'all know we're gonna be recapping what's happening this weekend with Miss Claressa Shields' Papoose. Got to get into it. Where am I at? It's a late live because I had some stuff going on today, but nonetheless, I'm here. So, y'all, we got to get into all of this stuff that's been going on, right? Um, it's never a dull moment, right? It's never a dull moment when it comes to this whole saga. When it comes to Claressa Shields, Papoose, Remy Ma, like it's always something going on. So I first want to start off by talking about this live that everybody talked about that Claressa did when she was eating at the restaurant. For whatever reason, she enjoys eating in front of the camera and talking to people or whatever. I don't know. But what got me was the whole thing where like she was eating and then instead of her getting Papoose something of his own to eat, she scraped the rest of her plate onto a to-go plate to take this man. Okay, let me say this. Was he not good enough to get his own plate? Like, are you guys in a fight or something? Because if you and you're taking your significant other something back, seem like you would have ordered him something to go like shortly before it was time for you to be finished with your food, something. Do he even like the same things that you like? You know, how you know he even want what you were eating, let alone you done breathe all over it, ate all over it, fork all in it, and then you want to sit here and give him what you done ate all over? Yes, and smacking. The smacking, I mean, like, you know, sometimes people smack when they eat, but like that's cool, but I just don't know why she got to do it on camera. Like, what's the point of that? I never understood that. Now, you know, some people they do have a meal, you know, on a live occasionally. It seems to be a constant thing with her, right? Not something that I particularly would want to watch, but you know, maybe her fans enjoy that, right? But it just gives more for people to talk about, in my opinion, because this she's always doing something weird when she's eating. So she raked the leftovers in the box. Normally, when you take your leftovers, it's for you later, right? But your man, he don't even deserve his own plate. Like, what's going on? So then, you know, let me talk about the little fortune cookie real quick. Because the fortune cookie was like, you need to tap into your femininity. Check and check. Like, she needs to focus more on presenting herself a little bit better in that regard. She is disgusting. She's disgusting to me. Yeah, she is disgusting. It's not cute. And it's like, you know, as women, we get judged about how we present ourselves and stuff like that. I get that, but like it looks like she don't even be trying. It's like the more grotesque she can be, the better, in her opinion. My mother would slap us for smacking. Like, I mean, the smacking, the loud chewing, the slurping, all of that is annoying. I don't know. Maybe because she is a public figure, people want to see that. But I'm pretty sure if I got on my live slurping, smacking, and all of this other stuff, wouldn't nobody tune in for that, right? But nonetheless, it is what it is. So she goes home, and the first thing that I noticed is when she got to the room where Papoose was, she was like, I'm on live, don't cuss me out. Like, why would that be your response to tell him, like, don't cuss me out? That's very telling. And let me say this right here, nobody's relationship is perfect. Nobody is always jovial and happy in their relationship at all times. Nobody's always in a good place in their relationship. So let's not even act like that's what I'm trying to say here. But why is it that you guys are in a place where you would tell him, I'm on live, don't cuss me out? You know what I'm saying? And she is very loud. So that's, to me, is very telling. It's not giving the whole what they would have people to believe about the relationship. And if you guys are in a fight, because you know sometimes when you're a couple, you're in a fight for a while, you haven't resolved whatever you guys are fighting about, whatever case may be, right? Why would it be instinctual for you to go in on a live and y'all is in this state where you got to say him not to cuss you out? Like, it's just, to me, that's the type of stuff that don't compute for me when it comes to her. What is the thought process? If you wanted to eat while you was on the live and go home, and work out whatever it is that got you telling him don't cuss you out because you're on live, that's what you should have done. It's just the common sense be lacking, it seems. And I'm not trying to, if she has a problem, you know what I mean? If she has some kind of issue mentally or whatever, I am not trying to degrade her or anything, but it's just I'm questioning what's going on here, up in here, right? So then he's like, I'm not talking to you on the live. Common sense would say, okay, I'm gonna end this live because obviously I need to go handle some business. He don't want to talk to me on the live. We got something going on. I shouldn't even hang on live, okay? But no, she keeps going. I really like her, but she can't compare to Remy. She has to grow up. Let me say this when it comes to the comparisons. Unfortunately, because of the dynamic that they find themselves in, people are going to compare them. Okay. That's just what it is. She may not like it, but that's what it is. You decided to embark upon these folks' marriage and insert yourself in it. Not only did you insert yourself with this man who you knew was married, but then you're outwardly speaking about somebody else's marriage who don't got nothing to do with you. Just because you with that man don't mean you have any right to speak about their marriage, right? So when it comes to the comparison of the two, there is none. It's like apples and oranges, okay? That's a fact. It's apples and oranges. You can't compare them to because no matter how much she chased Remy Ma with the style, with the words, with the, the man, with the rapping, she is no comparison. And she won't take no for an answer. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. She handles life like she does the boxing ring. She feels like if she can win at having the man, having the life they had, at wearing the clothes, saying the words, rapping, she feels like she's won. You've not won anything. What you are working on though is destroying what you have built for yourself. Okay. And we're starting to see the cracks. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm seeing it as the beginning of the end when it comes to her career, because all of this stuff that she's doing, like, for example, let's get to the song, right? The Good Life song. People are saying, and this is allegedly, I don't have any proof or anything, but people are saying that the numbers on YouTube are inflated, that there's no way that in 6 days she has 1.4 million views. The analytics are not adding up when it comes to the engagement, the comments, how quickly the views racked up and everything like that. How if you have so many millions of views, why hasn't it charted anywhere? These are the questions that people have. And when people start asking questions, that's when it started to be like, oh, well, y'all just hating. No, there's legitimate questions here. Okay. How is it that you all of a sudden got all these views and what you are known for, which is your boxing, how is your rap outperforming your boxing? You've been boxing for many, many years, and nothing that you put on your page about your boxing has performed as well. You see, it's stuff like that. And I think that, she is in competition with Remy for everything, in every facet. She knows that she'll never get to fight Remy. You see, she knows that that'll never happen. That's not something that's ever going to take place. So she got to try to beat her at everything else. I don't think I could be with a man and don't have a relationship with his kids. She don't care about that. She doesn't care. She doesn't care. Did y'all see her face when Kim asked her, has she met the golden child? It was like she was irritated. She was irritated. You want to spend the rest of your life with a man, but you irritated at the mere mention of his child, his minor child, his little child at that, who looks just like her mother. Come on. The water and the hits she took to the head. Everybody keep talking about that Flint water and the potential CTE that's going on with Claressa. I don't know. about any of that. I know the Flint water crisis is a real thing. I'm pretty sure it's not good, whatever's going on with that. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's really sad how she's played herself. She's definitely played herself, reason. She don't get it. And for the life of me, nobody around her is telling her either. And I don't know if they just don't care, if they don't feel like it's worth it, if they just there to get a bag and move on. Like I don't know. You feel me? Like we all know that Pap is there for his piece of change. When they not lights, camera, action, he don't want to be bothered with her. I don't know. He seemed like he was mad at her when she came back home from eating. Some people are trying to say that he was mad because she left without him. And then, like, did he see the live where she raked her leftovers in the plate and tried to give it to him? That's just nasty in and of itself. Like, I mean, come on, that's disgusting. I mean, why would you do that? Get the man his own food, if that's what you're going to do. And then back to what I was saying about that. She asked him what you want me to do with the plate. He was like, I'm not talking to you online. She kept asking him over and over again until he just ignored her. And then she tried to play it out. I'm like, well, anyway. It's like, girl, leave him alone. Like, you trying to prove so bad that he with you. Who cares? Who cares? It seemed like her team would say something. They not finna fight with Claressa. You see what she do anytime somebody says something that she don't like. Anytime somebody says something she don't like, they out of there. If you could dismiss your friend of 11 years, okay, like you did, all because you felt like she was hating on your relationship or she said something about your relationship you didn't appreciate, what you think she's gonna do to somebody who is in her employment? They're out of there. And like it or not, people have a living to make. They need a job. And so it seems like to me, they just go along to get along, whether they agree with it or not. And they may agree. Who knows? I mean, because they may agree with the way she's moving and they fine with it. And they feel like, hey, she's getting the views, she's getting the numbers, people are talking about her. So whatever she's doing, it must be working. That could be the sentiment. It doesn't matter that a lot of people don't care for it. A lot of people are tired of it. A lot of people want more for her than she seemed to want for herself. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for saying that. Four Queens Production said, it's another R. Kelly. Yes. For years and years, R. Kelly had these rumors swirling around him. He had bad conduct. I don't know the story. And then it wasn't until this whole court case the second time, because if y'all don't know, back in the early 2000s, he had a court case that got dismissed or whatever, which prompted the song that him and Jay-Z did together, Not Guilty. Y'all go and look at that if y'all don't know that song. But, they finally got him, and now it's like, oh, cancel R. Kelly, blah, blah, blah. And I want to say this real quick, that a lot of people want to say, oh, y'all coming down against your own people. Y'all, need to be supporting another Black woman. Y'all hating on this Black woman. We're not doing that. It's not that we're hating, but you got to be held accountable. How many times are we going to allow stars just because they got money and influence to be dead wrong, and we're going to rock with it? Because let's be honest, when it came to R. Kelly, as long as he was banging out them hits and doing what he was doing on the radio, everybody seemed to be happy. But we've learned from R. Kelly, from P. Diddy, that someone's talent does not absolve them from being held accountable for right and wrong. Just because somebody can sing a song, just because somebody can produce a hit, just because somebody can win fights in a boxing ring, does not mean it's okay. The behaviors that's going on. If okay, let's get her out of it. Let's say a regular woman, okay, was trying to friend up the wife, was liking the posts of the wife and the husband, was acting like they was a fan initially. And then when you turn around, that same person was on your husband's arm. Okay. You went through your husband's phone and you find all of this interaction with your husband after she done been in your inbox. Okay. Asking you for fashion tips. So it leads me, because if it was me, I feel like, okay, so she's trying to ask me for fashion tips so she can run up on my man, especially when she comes out dressing like me, talking like me, reliving moments like me with my man. And like it or not, people want to say what they want to say about Remy Ma and the Papoose situation. And let me tell you something, them folks were still married. When Claressa and him started up they mess, nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew what was going on. Because as far as we knew, they were still a family. They were still married. They was, still living a married life. We didn't know any of that stuff. We had found out about the whole, Remy and Easy stuff. And they was okay with letting Remy mom be the bad guy. And she cheated, she did pat blah blah blah. When all this time he wasn't called out for his indiscretions in the marriage. It was always, oh, Remy Ma cheated first, when the truth was he had been cheating all this time. And instead of putting him on blast about it, she tried to work through it. Some people don't agree with that. Some people feel like, oh, well, if she was so bothered by his cheating, she should have left. Some people try to work on their marriage even through infidelity. Some people do, and I'm not saying anybody who tries to work through the infidelity is wrong, because there are some couples that can work through it. But it has to be both parties. You can't be getting cheated on and then forgive the cheater, and then the cheater never changes behavior, because that's what it appears happened in this situation. It appears that Pat was cheating. He was doing his thing. Remy was trying to work through it, and she got to a place where she was tired. She was tired. Told him to go. He wouldn't go. Put him out the bed in 2022. Wouldn't leave. Okay. And so then she was like, okay, well, maybe if I cheat, he'll go on about his business. Still didn't happen. And that's what I'm saying. When people bring up the whole Easy joint, I'll be like, that happened, yes, but did he leave? He did not. And so from my perspective, and this is just my opinion, when he didn't leave, you have to ask why. Why didn't he leave? If he felt that it was such an egregious thing, if he was already on the couch, if they were not, physically with each other, because I'm thinking that if you on the couch, my boy, y'all ain't getting it in as a married couple, right? So why not leave if you were cheating anyway? If she cheated back with Easy and it was just, should have been the end and all, why didn't you leave? Why did it take a whole nother, however long it took? Okay, when she blasted Papoose and Claressa, for him to get up and leave. Why? You see, that's the thing that people don't like to talk about. And then if you're gonna file paperwork to divorce the woman, why are you trying to get half her money? Why? Why did it take you so long to file the divorce? If she ain't nothing, if she couldn't keep her legs closed, this is what Pap said. She couldn't keep her legs closed, blah, blah, blah. Why you ain't filing until after she put you on blast about Claressa? Why you went out of her house? Why weren't you, why? And that's what people don't like to talk about. And then now we see this relationship with Claressa, and it's nothing like they try to present to the world. She tries to act as if they're happy and, this is the best thing. And he said out his own mouth, Clarissa's the best thing that happened to me. And then he cleaned it up and was like, she won the best things that ever happened to me. It don't seem like it. Is that how you treat the best thing that ever happened to you? Because my God, how do you treat something? To me, it's like, okay, if Claressa is the best thing that happened to you, then what was Remy Ma? You feel me? Like, I feel like he is trying to do things to hurt her, but it doesn't even matter because she over it. And don't believe and don't think that just because, he believes that, like, it's weird, right? Because sometimes guys and women feel like whatever they're doing is hurting you, and it's really not. And they don't believe you when you say or when you express that what you're doing don't really hurt me. That's how I see it with Papoose. Like, all of this whole Claressa thing, I don't think it was supposed to go as far as it did. But he's in the role now. He got to keep this going, because this is how he getting his money. He's lured her over to Win Records. He knows that she's emotional. He knows that he got to keep that connection going. He knows that she's the biggest thing over there at Win Records. She's the money. Okay. So now he got to keep this going. And believe it or not, there are some guys out here that feel like if they not, giving up, what's, some pole, they can't get their way with a woman. It's true. And that's what he doing with Claressa. Absolutely. 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 So at the end of the day, we see this weekend a little bit of transparency with their relationship. Okay. Can you can you bury a time capsule right now that'll really show us? You know, the thing is, what I love about social media, like there's a lot to hate about social media because it can be such a beast. But what I love about it is everything that's reported as it happens, you can always go back and look at it. Is there's always a timestamp, there's always a date, there's always something placed. It's like putting a stamp on something when you talk about it. And it's kind of like, with this whole Claressa and Papoose thing, as time goes on, I can see a steady decline. It's like a steady decline in everything they try to present to the world and try to act like, those posts and the pictures and all the things that she says, it's just not holding up. The numbers aren't adding up, like Remy said. He seems to be very moody. You know what I'm saying? That was actually way deeper of an answer than expected. Very well said, to be honest. Thank you. Thank you so much. They don't even look right together. I like her, but she is crazy and she thinks she hurting us, but she's hurting herself. Right. Like, we ain't gonna be hurt if her and Papoose ain't together. She is. Just like we don't care that they together. It's not about her being with him. It's more than that. It's more than that. And that's what she seems to understand. Claressa needs to understand that no matter what the state of the marriage was, it wasn't your business to get in it. That's the whole problem. And now you're trying to force people to accept you and what you choosing to engage in, like they accepted his last relationship. It's not going to happen because it's not authentic. We all can see that it's not real. It's real to her, perhaps, and we don't understand why. A lot of us, there are people who ride for them. There are people that feel like, oh, they happy, y'all just mad. What am I mad at? A lot of people, who's mad for what? Who's mad? Nobody's even mad that him and Remy broke up. If the marriage is over, then it's over, but let it be over for real. Take you and your Claressa and y'all go on about y'all but way and let Remy go. He ain't let Remy go. And he's playing in Claressa's face. And the more people try to tell her that, the more she try to prove people wrong. And it's starting to show. The cracks are starting to show because he ain't fooling with her like that. He don't fool with her like that, And when she came in that room talking about don't cuss me out, like, did she not understand what that looks like? That tells people, okay, so he cussing her out more than not. Because why would she have to say that? You can't keep a man if the golden child not apart. I don't ever see baby Remy being around that. I don't know how that's going to work. I know that that's her dad. And see, that's where it gets complicated because he deserves to spend time with his child. But it's hard when you trying to have this relationship over here and then you got this child over here and then all the stuff that y'all have had going back and forth between Remy and Claressa. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable with my child being around her. I'm sorry. She can't stand Remy Goods. And that baby looked just like her mother. Look at that baby. She looked just like her mother. And then there was a page that's called Claressa and Papoose that people think Claressa runs, right? They think it's her page that she's running. And that page follows baby Remy Ma's daughter. She has her own page on Instagram. That page is following her. Like, why are you doing that? If you had a chronic health condition that stressed you out every day, how would you manage it? I have a heart condition that causes palpitations and I don't know how I can enjoy my life. I'm not a healthcare professional, Anonymous. I'm sorry to hear about your health condition. I would definitely seek a professional when asking about the chronic pain or whatever else is going on with your condition, but I wish you the best. I would say if it were me, I would say try my best not to be stressed. Try to de-stress as much as I can. Try to surround myself with people who can help me de-stress and do the best that you can to go to your healthcare professionals and get whatever medications, or if you're a holistic person, look up things that you can do holistically to help with your condition. Best of luck to you with that. But yeah, Clarissa is not, you know what? God gives us all talents, right? He give us all talents. And when you don't manage your talent well, you forfeit it. And I feel like she's forfeiting her talent. She's focusing her energy on all these different places where it don't need to be. Why are you standing outside rapping, talking about you a wife? You're welcome. You're welcome, Anonymous. Best of luck to you. God bless. Why are you standing outside rapping, talking about you a wife? You whose wife? You might could have been Tony Rich's wife had you continued that relationship when he proposed to you and not, decided to be with Papoose. Because can't nobody tell me nothing when it comes to that. The girl was still engaged when she met Papoose. Okay. Why was you still wearing your ring if you wasn't engaged? Okay. What's the world? I did a video on that too. Like the day you said you met Papoose at the Shakur Stevenson fight, you had on your ring that Tony Rich gave you. And then the fight that you had right after that, Tony was there with you. The same fight that you gave Papoose tickets to. Tony was right there with you. Okay? But let her tell it. The whole time they met, like when they met that day forward, they've been together basically. She said they made it official a month after that. Tony was posting about her within that time frame. You see? So you could have been somebody's wife had you kept up with your relationship with Tony, but I guess Tony wasn't, famous enough or whatever the case may be. I don't know. You trying to live a life with a man who's already lived that life. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? And yes, Tony is older than her. Okay. He's not as old as Pap is, though. I also want to get into what Claressa was saying about to Joe Budden about the fight and everything. Let me say this real quick. Joe Budden was not talking down about Claressa. The first thing out of his mouth was, this, what I'm about to say has nothing to do with Claressa personally. That is what he said. He said he had a question about the production of the fight event. He said it was confusing. And let's be real, it was confusing to a lot of people because it's unorthodox. And we said this, we talked about this, where you got part of the undercard streaming somewhere else, and then you got the other part of the undercard streaming on a different platform. He was confused. He admitted that he's not a boxer, he doesn't follow boxing that closely. But he was interested in the fight, I guess, because it was Claressa Shields, because again, he did not disrespect her talent. He did not disrespect her craft. He was talking about whoever put the production together. It was valid because it was confusing. Those of us that was following it had to keep reminding people. I had to say several times, the baddies and Ray J stuff is going to be shown on Zeus. The real fighters and undercard for Claressa is going to be shown on the Zone, and Claressa is going to be on the Zone. People was trying to figure out, where do I see what, even on fight night. Okay, so he was asking about the production of it. He was talking about, he made mention of the fact, saying that there were some people there that didn't look like they was even dressed for the fight, which it could be in line with people getting tickets for free. Okay, because we know they was doing a ticket giveaway. There's videos all over about that. So he was asking about the production and the way it was rolled out. It was no shade to Claressa, but then again, here she is mad, talking about it's always the old people coming for her. First of all, what does age have to do with anything? What does that even matter? What does it matter? I don't care if Joe Budden was 60 years old. If he got an opinion he want to share, he can. So what? Number two, Joe and Papoose was on Love and Hip Hop together. You know you watch Love and Hip Hop, girl. Don't play with us. Don't do that. Okay. You know you watch Love and Hip Hop. Pap and Joe, from my understanding, was cool on Love and Hip Hop. We all know that Remy and Joe are cool. And throughout this entire time, Joe hasn't said anything regarding that situation. I think the people that know Pap and Remy the most and that's the closest to them have tried to stay out of it. Okay. And she gonna go off on him like that. Girl, you just want to fight. Like, I've never seen somebody so ready to fight. Girl, she crazy by saying she having a baby by a married man. She don't care about that. Again, she's in competition. She in competition with the wife. She's in competition with Remy. If she do everything with Papoose that Remy have done, she can wipe out Remy. That's what her mind is. Why she feels that way, I don't know. I don't know. But it's very side chick behavior. It really is. Because anytime you see, the women who choose to be side chicks, they always trying to one up the wife or the main girl. And the way in which they choose to do that be weird. And in this instance, Claressa feel like if she have a baby with Pap, then okay, that's one more thing that she got with Pap like Remy have. It's a constant playing catch up, constant. But you know what? These kids always throw up age. But okay, and they do. And I don't feel like she's 31 years old. That's not a kid. You feel me? Like she's well into her adult years at this point. She acts like a kid. If you were to just go off of her behaviors and the things that she says and does, you would think that she was in her early 20, like 21, 22. Papoose been fixed, and when she finds out, she's going to lose it. That's what a lot of people said, because I thought that he um had a vasectomy. I thought that that was a topic of discussion when they was on Love and Hip Hop, or maybe that show Meet the Mackies. I didn't watch Meet the Mackies like I watched Love and Hip Hop. But yeah, I do know that they can reverse vasectomies. Does that mean he's going to go do that? I don't know. I don't know. And as quiet as it's kept, people have been talking about that vasectomy thing for a while, and he has not come out and said anything. He has not come out, and that's the thing. He never defends the relationship. He never defends Claressa. Like, he'll post every now and then and stuff like that, but the way she goes for the relationship, he don't go the same way. Could it be a difference in personalities? It could be. I don't know. But I feel like Claressa need to understand less is more sometimes. Claressa need to understand that she just need to stop talking, because whoever don't agree with this, they're not going to agree with it. You cussing folks out, yelling at folks, trying to convince people that you sold more or had more views than Remy. Like, none of that's going to convince anybody to ride with you if they don't want to ride with you. And they don't have to. They don't have to. She just want the same type of notoriety and fame and everything that he had with Remy. And it's not going to happen. Do you know why? Because you have to be likable. You're not likable. The way you behave, the way you act is not becoming. You're not going to sway people to your side. And I don't care like how many folks. She can knock out 100 people. Your skill set does not clear all the rest of the BS. It doesn't. He should have got boxing gloves with her name. Pap ain't into it like that. Pap ain't into it like that. Let me get to Papoose's weekend in Canada. Y'all, if y'all didn't know, he went to Canada for whatever reason to perform. And the clip that I saw was terrible. Okay. Did y'all see that? The clip I saw was absolutely ridiculous. I have never in my life seen a concert where someone is on the stage performing. Everybody is in their seats, sitting down like they at church. Nobody's saying anything. Nobody's rocking with it. Nobody's on their feet. He just loud all by himself. He just up there yelling. Don't even know what he talking about. Don't nobody know none of his songs. The only song people know him for being on is the Busta Rhymes Touch It remix. And the song Touch It was good without the remix. It ain't like he improved upon the song. He didn't even have the best verse on the song, in my opinion. So why is you on somebody's stage performing? You don't even have a catalog for real that people know about. Okay. And it's not to say that, like, okay, like, for new artists. Okay. New artists, you get them up there, you get them in front of the crowd, you get them exposure, this, that, and the other. He's not a new artist. And in fact, what he was saying on that stage when I saw the clip, he was saying that he been doing this since whenever, however, whatever. He ain't new and all of this. But don't nobody know you, sir, especially not in Canada. People in the United States didn't know who you was until you was on Love and Hip Hop Remy Ma. So why do you think anybody's going to really know your work in Canada when don't nobody even know your work here? Okay? Tell me, like, y'all tell me what Papoose song is even played in the clubs like that, on the radio like that. I mean, y'all tell me. And then Claressa got the nerve to be called somebody a washed up rapper. When who she laying with, if that ain't the definition of washed up, what is it? Because meanwhile, you calling Remy Ma a washed up rapper, and she got hits on the charts, the iTunes and everything. Like, she's come out with several hits that's doing well. Like, so what do you mean a washed up rapper? It's kind of like everything she says about everybody else, she's really confessing. She's really confessing. Okay. It's weird because everything you say is really what you and Pap got going on. But you feel like just because you say otherwise, that people are supposed to believe it because you Claressa Shields and you the GWO and you the best at what you do. And then she loved to say that if you ain't the best at what you do, leave me alone. When was Pap ever the best at what he do? Okay. When was he ever the best at rapping? Okay. I don't understand like her mindset. And if you feel like he the best to ever do it, then that's fine. That's your opinion. But it's so many other people who don't agree with that. And he does have a following. He does have fans, and that's fine. But don't be trying to convince us that he's more than what he is. Don't be trying to convince us that you aren't who you are. It's a bunch of just smoke and mirrors when it comes to them. Okay. All because you're trying to grow your following or you're trying to grow your influence. And it's stagnant, to be honest with you. It's stagnant. And honestly, it's declining because a lot of the people who was supporting you, they starting to see like, maybe not. Maybe this is not what I thought it was going to be. They gave Remy another shot. They always shooting her shots. Like they always got something to say about Remy. Like it's always, some subliminals going on. It's always some bull crap going on. Like they can't keep Remy out of their mouth. And I saw somebody say, oh, well, they always asking Claressa about Remy. And that's why she talk about her. How about you can say next question? How about you don't take the bait? Because how about that's the only reason they talking to you anyway. They don't care about your career like that. When she had that fight with K. Scott, nobody cared for real because everybody knew she was gonna win. Everybody knew what the reason what that fight was for. Like it was her. That's why them tickets was not selling. She had to go and get like mad people on the undercard. She had to go get Monique to talk for her. She had to go get Money Mayweather, Floyd Mayweather to come, and stand beside her. And she had to do all of this stuff to get people even slightly interested in the fight to that degree. Like, yes, she got people that's going to rock with her anyway, but I'm talking about the masses. I'm talking about, sellout type energy. She didn't sell that place out. No matter what people say, she didn't sell it out. And why does that matter if she sold it out or whether they gave the tickets away? Because the bottom line is the money. It does matter, She want to talk about money all the time. You ain't get that money out that fight like you thought you was. And say what now? One of them, I like her, but it's starting to look creepy. So what you saying that you like Claressa, but it's starting to get creepy? Is that what you're saying? But yeah, it's been creepy to me. It's been creepy a long time ago. And that's why I was like, when is it gonna stop being funny? Because at first it was like the audacity, oh my God. And now it's like, okay, there's really something wrong. There's really something wrong. There's something not right with this. And like I said, it's like we are watching in real time a potentially dangerous situation because everybody is waiting for the day when her and Papoose break up because it's going to be meltdown city. When he was in Canada and doing poorly on stage, okay, she was there. Khadijah was performing as well. And why didn't he bring her on the stage? You see what I'm saying? Like anytime when him and Remy was together, he was always on the stage with Remy. Remy, and him stayed on the stage. Clearly, he don't believe in her career. Clearly, he don't. You see what I'm saying? It's stuff like that she don't see. Okay, like she could have been a guest of his on the stage if he really believed in her career like that. He don't. But that's supposed to be your queen. Okay, that's supposed to be your queen. But he would look like an even bigger fool if he invited Claressa on the stage with him. Okay. And that's what I mean. Her music is not the ticket. That's why she's trying to make this streaming the ticket. That's why this whole 1.4 million views or whatever on this Good Life song that ain't charting nowhere, but got 1.4 million views. Like she's trying to make it a thing because she's already expressed interest in being a streamer. So she feels like if she inflates the numbers on her song, then that's going to give her more, I don't know, clout or something to be a streamer. Like, girl, come on now. Ain't nobody trying to look at that. And what she better know is if she's puffing up her numbers, YouTube will do something about that. Like they don't play about fake numbers and stuff. Like they don't do that. You're not going to get anywhere. So is it more important for you to brag than to be honest about where you are in your journey? And we all know also, while we're talking about bragging, Amanda Serrano had her fight. Okay, I think she won her 50th fight or whatever. Of course, Claressa, here she come, talking about how bad Amanda looked. Here's the thing. I didn't watch the entire fight. I saw clips. If Amanda was fighting an opponent that was challenging, there's nothing wrong with that. Why do you always feel the need to talk about somebody else's accomplishments or lack thereof? Why do you always have an opinion on somebody else, but as soon as somebody got an opinion on you, just the event, you want to go off? She was talking about how bad Amanda looked, okay? Talking about Amanda personally, but that's fine. That's okay. She can talk about folks. She can give her opinion. She can state what she feels. But then when Joe Budden talked about the event and not even her, it's a problem. She got to go melting down online. You didn't put the event together. You weren't the promoter. You weren't the organizer of that fight. So why are you going off? That's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense to me how she conjure up things in her mind. It's like she can do whatever she want to do. Whatever she want to do. And if somebody do the same exact thing, oh, it's a problem. Now you got to get cussed out. Now you on her list. Now you on her radar. Now she got to come for you, your family, everybody. Why? And for somebody who she act like she's so unbothered and she's so happy and she's so this and so that, every day is some foolishness. Every day she's online cussing folks out, mad, dragging people, or whatever the case may be. It's not giving what it's supposed to give. Because when people are really happy, you can see that. It's not going to be put on. It's not going to be fake. It's not going to be, oh, I'm on live, don't cuss me out. You see what I'm saying? It's not doing none of that. But she's doing all of that. She want to talk about folks broke. I'm convinced at this point, everything she accused people of, that's what she really is. It's deflection. She's deflecting and she's projecting onto other people what her reality is. Don't do that. You don't know what other people's reality is. It's a bunch of millionaires walking around broke. Okay? It's about the mismanagement of money. If you mismanage your money, if you don't spend your money properly, then you can be worth however many millions of dollars and still be broke, boo. Okay? So I don't want to hear that. That's what I'm saying. Like, she seems so out of touch with reality. She seems so out of touch with what's real because she conjure up this stuff in her own brain and she feel like that's how it's supposed to go and that's how it is. And whoever don't think that, then something wrong with them and she got to get them together. Like, girl, bye. Stop this, please. Please stop this. And can we please stop Pap going on these stages because it's not working. It is not working. I don't even know who invited him to this stage or whatever. I guess he got to try to earn his keep on Win Records. Okay. He done went over there and lied to them folks over in Africa about him being somebody he's not, because that's where Ruben is originally from Sierra Leone. So he done went over there, lied to them folk, got them folk thinking that he's somebody he's not. Because how are they supposed to know any different? Okay. They don't know. And now it's starting to crumble. It's the beginning of the end. That's how I see it. And if it's not, then cool. If she can, fine. But the way I see it right now, what other skill does she have? I know Pap got to be sick of being the talk of the town. I know I hate that me and my family name be talked about. Yeah, it's got to do a number. Like, let me say this. I think people can be cruel. I think that, I don't agree with all of the things that some people say when it comes to Claressa, because you don't have to be mean. And I try not to be mean, but I am going to be real with the situation and I am going to be as fair as I can with it. But I don't feel sorry for Papoose. I don't feel sorry for Papoose at all. He chose this. Papoose chose this. He chose this because he does not know how to earn on his own without riding the back of whatever woman he's sleeping with. That's the bottom line of it. He don't know how to, like, every time Claressa has something going on, here he comes. There's a clip I did on one of my videos where Claressa was standing taking pictures with Floyd Mayweather and some other guy. I think he was a boxing legend. I can't think of his name right now. They were taking pictures. And then she brings Papoose in, like every moment she has, he got to be a part of it. Every time she's lights, camera, action, here he go. He got to make sure he's seen. He got to make sure he's in the background. He got to make sure, he sit in the frame when she's at her press conferences. Okay. Same thing he used to do with Remy. There's cringy video of him and Remy on stage where he done took the mic, won't give it back. She's trying to continue her show. He up there saying whatever. I don't even know. Okay. He does. Just because you watch boxing, sir, does not make you an expert at it. He up there like he a trainer or something. He didn't know she was like that. He thought it was a flex. Like, I mean, of course not. Of course you don't know who someone is until you start dealing with them. But why is he staying though? Why is he staying? Okay. That's the thing. He a grown man. Why is he staying? That's the question. Sometimes you not only have to look at someone's actions, you have to ask the motivation behind them. Okay? Why is he staying? He don't have any other options? He don't have any other choice? Is he scared? Like what? Even after he did the Vlad interview, Vlad was like, I think Papoose is scared of Claressa Shields, and I don't even like Vlad like that. I don't. But he may have a point, because the way she conducts herself and the way he be looking at her and acting and stuff, it's like he got a fight on his hands with her. You feel me? Like, there's been some allegations out there about him and his hands. I'm not gonna get into that because I don't know that to be true, but he look handsy. That's what Claressa said herself. Claressa said his hands are he's handsy, right? That tells me my interpretation of that is to me that he be putting hands on folks, women included. So he know he got a fight on his hands with Claressa for sure. For certain. She's a trained fighter. Been fighting since she was a little girl. You got a problem. So that's what I'm saying. But why is he not going? He can't leave. He can't leave because he don't know how to make money on his own. Look at the history. Look at the pattern. Okay? It's all coming down. It's all going down. It is. And I think that Papoose knows that it's going down. And I think that Papoose can see the writing on the wall and he's working on an exit. I really believe that. I really believe that Papoose is like, I gotta figure out a way out of this. But he don't know how to end something and begin something else. He surely can't have a pending divorce in which he's fighting a woman for half of her money. He's stringing this woman along and then get somebody else. That's too much. That's too much for anybody to keep up with, right? So it's kind of like, what do you do? What do you do? So at the end of my day, I think that Papoose is just, he don't know what to do right now. So he got to deal with it. And he get tired of dealing with it sometimes. Because she a lot. And she said it herself. She said, I'm a lot. Duh. As if we didn't know that. You a lot for us. Girl, Claressa is a lot. She be doing a lot. She talk a lot. She just, it's a lot. I couldn't imagine behind closed doors what it's like. They probably be going at it bad, real bad, because she the type of person, if you're not careful, she draw you in and have you yelling, screaming, hollering, fussing, fighting when you don't even want to. And that's why he was like, I'm not talking to you on live. She knew that it wasn't a good idea to have him on live. It doesn't look good. It does not look good, y'all. Because when you telling somebody not to cuss you out because you on live because you don't want to be embarrassed, okay? And they up in your house, and then I could have stayed at the restaurant to eat. I don't know how long she was at the restaurant, but I feel like she had ate all she could. I mean, she packing up a doggy bag. Okay? So, I don't know, y'all. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that this whole thing, it was a strategic move for both of them. It was strategic for Claressa because let's say she did watch Papoose and Remy on Love and Hip Hop. And let's say she one of those girls that ended up wanting not only the life, but the man himself. Okay. What you said? I'm asking for a friend. Asking what? Whatever your question was, it didn't come through. Blige Water 3. Your question didn't come through. You said I'm asking for a friend. I don't know what you're asking. But Claressa strategically got with Pap because he had the fame, okay? And then Papoose got with Claressa because she was a means to an end. He knew his relationship with Remy Ma was wrapping up, okay? And he feel like this one wrapping up too, truth be told. Now let's get to Miss Remy, because she did post, she teased, I'll say, that she could potentially be doing a documentary type sit down about her situation with Papoose, which would be bold because she is in the middle of litigation, and anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law, especially when you are a public figure, because everything they do is documented, right? Your social media, everything is documented. So yeah, I'm wondering what she would say and how much she can talk without jeopardizing herself. I mean, she could definitely talk about potentially what led them to where they are today. Okay, I don't see the harm in that. She could definitely talk about potentially what he says to her outside of Clarissa's presence. Because you think they're not talking, you a fool. First of all, they got a young child. Okay. And believe me when I tell you, these estranged husbands, these ex-husbands, they be all in your face, all in your box, all on your phone. Don't matter what they're doing. I know this from personal experience. Trust and believe. They don't be want to go for real. They still be trying to get back. You see what I'm saying? Trust me when I tell you that. I know that for a fact. Wouldn't be surprised if Remy had that to say. Would not be surprised if there's messages to that effect. Would not be surprised if there may be voice recordings to that effect. Don't be surprised because even with all Papoose is doing, he's sitting here going around town with Claressa, tattooing her show name on his arm, where you can't even see it unless he lift up a sleeve, and we all know that even with a short sleeve shirt on, you still can't see it. He doing all of that, but don't be surprised if he's still in Remy's face trying to get with her. Okay? Trying to see if he can get back with her. Okay? I'm telling you, it would not surprise me. At the end of it all, it's all gonna come out anyway. It's all gonna come out. And he gassing Claressa up to do his dirty work. He gassing her up to say the things say to try to get Remy mad at him because he feels like if I'm still feeling like this, I know Remy still care. But I'm gonna tell you something, sir. When a woman puts you on her couch for years, okay, and she talk about the so D, she done. She's done. You can forget it. You can hang it up. Okay. She's done. She's tired. You know, she was out here, doing her own thing. She wants to be single, can't, because you in the way. And if y'all think it's just about money, y'all slow. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, it ain't just about the money. Is it about the money and why and him trying to get half her money? Yep, that ain't all. Because if he could, I believe he'd go back to Remy. I do. Even with all of that that's happened, because he was still at her house with everything that happened. He felt like he had to get out when she called them out. Okay. Because now he got Claressa breathing out his neck, like, oh, well, everybody know now. Why you still over there? You see what I'm saying? Listen, it's so much to the story. Some people was like, oh, well, there's nothing else to say. Remy, let it go. No, she don't. Not as long as Papoose ain't letting her go and trying to get her money. She don't gotta let nothing go. As long as Claressa keep throwing shots at her, calling her a washed up rapper, a loser, all of this stuff that Claressa doing, but she gotta let it go. Remy need to let it go. Okay. Okay. I'm convinced that the people who are in agreement with what Claressa is doing, they either never been married, don't want to be married, or they have been and will be the side chick. I'm convinced of that. I'm convinced of that. The fact that he got a child with the woman and a family and all of that, be damned. They don't care nothing about that because all of her fans, I never hear them mention how there was a family unit in place. All they do is try to throw up what Remy did. Let's hold it where it need to be. Let's talk one at a time here. Okay. Because regardless of what Remy did, he was still there. And he didn't go until Remy put them on blast. That's a fact. The proof is there. It's all there. And whether you want to see it or not, whether you want to admit it or not, that is what it is. Okay. So, y'all, this weekend was a mess. Let's be clear on that. Between the terrible concert that Papoose was a part of, where no one was reacting to him, no one was vibing with him, because what is there to vibe to? his music is not music that I feel you can really just play and catch a beat and catch a vibe off of. Like I've tried to listen to his music. I don't like it. Okay. I have no idea what the hell he's talking about half the time. All right. Um, we have the whole eating on live and bringing back your doggy bag for the man plate. A mess. When she's not in training camp and she's not getting ready for a fight, it'd be weird. It's a lot of weirdness going on. And I know that it's for the content. I realize that Claressa does things for shock value. I realize she does things to keep people talking, because if she it's it's nothing to talk about with her. She gonna be with Pap until whatever. We know that. So what? You see what I'm saying? But then when she started talking about Amanda and Alicia and teaming up with Remy, calling her a washed up rapper, stuff like that. And then when she's on these platforms and she's in these interviews and stuff like that, and she says that stuff and they be laughing and stuff, it eggs her on. It just encourages her to keep doing it. And she don't even realize how ridiculous she's sounding doing this, because she's getting the response that she's getting at that time, you know? So it's just weird. And I guess we're gonna have to stay tuned, y'all. I don't know. Like, who knows what's gonna happen this week? Okay. But as always, I like to hear from you guys. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, share, hype my videos up, please. And I will see y'all next time.